This is the field report for February 16, 2015. Listen in to this audio. We'll be back after this.
How deeply we're in this situation. What do you think about that? Do you think we've taken a step too far and that it is irreversible?
Well, if you simply look at, okay, well, how many species, have we already driven extinct, and how many are on the verge of extinction right now? You'd say, well, this is a pretty serious situation, but it's not, the end Cretaceous. It's not the death of the dinosaurs. It's not the death of 75% of all species on the planet. But when you look at, sort of realistic scenarios for let's just say the rest of this century, and how much CO2 we're going to pour into the water, and things like that, and how much global population is going to increase, and how many resources people are going to use. Now, we don't know whether those scenarios are going to come to pass. Then you say, well, that is taking us into some pretty dangerous territory. And then if you project out and out and out, and once again, as the longer out we go, the more and more uncertain our projections become, right? But people who have looked at, for example, things like measuring the rate at which creatures are going from these categories of vulnerable and threatened to near extinct in the wild. And then extinct would say that this rate, the rate at which these things are happening, suggests that we are in a very major extinction event. People have tried to look at, different ways for calculating that, and as I said at the top, I've come up with different answers, and I honestly can't tell you where we are in that process. It's one of these things where, many millions of years, whatever is looking at the fossil record will know, but it will be very difficult for us to know while we're doing it.
So at the end, you said caring isn't enough. We actually have to manually make a change. But earlier on, you said that some leading factors toward the sixth extinction were 7 billion people on the planet were using lights and driving and such. Do you think that us manually making a change would make a big enough change so as not to be impacted by all the lights and cars and such?
Well, what I was trying to say by that is just that our good intentions are not enough. We really need to confront. It's not. It doesn't really even at the point where something's on the verge of extinction and we preserve a remnant population. That's a very, very noble thing to do, and I really admire people spending their lives doing that. But we really need to confront the root causes, as it were, of what's going on. And those are, as I hope I indicated, they're really big, and they're many. They're not just one. It's not even just climate change, unfortunately. There's a host of ways in which we are changing the planet on a geological scale, so much so that you've probably heard discussions of geologists thinking that we should rename the time we live in. We officially live in the Holocene, which is the time since the last ice age. That we should rename this the Anthropocene after people, because people have replaced the great forces of geology of the past. So these are really, really big things, and they're not. It's not a matter of spending more time helping animals or even donating more money. Those are all good things to do, and I really do recommend them. But it's a matter of sort of trying to get our minds around, all of these really, really big ways in which what we're doing that seems really ordinary is really just changing the planet on a permanent basis. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay, that's from Book TV.
If you would like to get that book signed, we are going to line up right here in front of the stage.
Okay, that's Elizabeth Kolbert, who wrote the book on the sixth extinction. And let me say this. I didn't get to listen to the whole thing. I didn't get a chance to actually record the whole broadcast question Q&A. But not one time did she anyone from the audience at the Seattle Town Hall meeting, did she answer one question with an I don't know? Now, her position is the global climate change and the extinction. Now, you know, at the field report, we've been talking about we're in called an extinct protocol, but all her facts are incorrect, and she couldn't answer her audience's questions. We're going to post this to you guys later. You want to listen to the second audio? Because I really like to post some questions to you guys. Her question in Q&A at the Seattle Town Hall meeting. If you get a chance to go to Book TV, listen to the whole thing. She's not one towards the end, and I think the last 3 or 4 people in the audience, she couldn't answer their questions. But she wrote the book about it. You ask yourself what's going on there.